Hello, lovers of the world. This is Sinta speaking. I love journaling and I love listening to music, so I've decided to combine them. Welcome to Music and Monthlies, the series where I summarize what music I listened to in the previous month and set up my journal for the next one. This is a way for me to keep track of all the music I've discovered and a way for me to exercise my skills in analyzing and expressing my opinions on music better. This video, we're going over what I listened to in August and set up my journal for September. I know this is late, but better late than never. This video also officially marks the end of my hiatus. Woo! So without further ado, let's get started. The Volunteers, self-titled debut album. The Volunteers is a South Korean indie rock band that debuted in 2018 with popular indie singer Baek Yerin as the front woman. This record was pretty incredible, truthfully. It's easy to point to Baek Yerin as the face of the group and the most famous of all the members, as the brains behind the operations. After all, her last 3 projects have garnered international and domestic acclaim, and it is her name that pops up in all the writing credits. However, I think the beauty of the music stems from the band as a collective. Together they work really well, and the music sounds really amazing. It's definitely a new sound on Baek Yerin's voice, as she's more well known for her gentle indie pop gems that pop up in the top 100 charts every now and then, whereas this debut album centers around a more rockier aesthetic, if you will, even going down to abrasive at certain tracks like Let Me Go. There are parts where you can almost imagine Baek Yerin using them for her own solo projects, but I really do appreciate her decision to venture off into a new sound with a new set of members, which seems to be a trend among the indie rock scene anyway, as 2 of the members of the Volunteers, Johnny and Cloud O, are members of another K-indie rock band that I love dearly called Bye Bye Badman. So yeah, definitely a lot more underground and more subculture than maybe we expect of Baek Yerin, considering she is a little bit more mainstream and she's got her own thing going on. And with her idol vocalist training, it definitely is different, but different is good. Lately, I Feel Everything by Willow. Willow Smith once again proves herself to be a formidable figure in the music industry with this latest album. Transparent Soul blew everyone and their mothers away by riding that imminent wave of the pop-punk revivalism that has been simmering in the mainstream background for a while now. The second single, Lipstick, offers a darker sound and story, which only further excited me to the arrival of the full-length album. However, diving deeper into the project itself once it has arrived, I did find it a little thinner in the writing and the producing than I expected. There were definitely pockets of genius in there, like the aforementioned singles, alongside the track Naive, which I really like, and where Willow is just wailing into the microphone. I loved it. But otherwise, I feel like Willow has only just scratched the surface and could have gone off a little harder, at least in my opinion. Regardless, it's still a really beautiful project and an excellent display of Willow's songwriting talents. I love the choice of collaborations here too, with Travis Barker and Avril Lavigne ushering the new generation of angsty teens as they have done in their own youths. We've come to a full circle. I really recommend the project, and I would wish you guys give it a chance as well. Play Game Holiday by Weeekly. Weeekly are a rookie group that debuted last year and had tremendous success, particularly with their March comeback, After School, a fun, catchy bop that took TikTok in a tornado of terrific tunes, I guess. Now back with an equally saccharine track, but a more enjoyable EP, Play Game Holiday exceeded my expectations. Cohesive, fun, and full of joy, this EP has a great shot at landing at my year-end list. I don't know how I feel about the title track itself. I do feel like it's just riding off the initial success of After School, because to me it kind of just sounds like not necessarily the same song, but definitely, what's the phrase? Cutting from the same cloth? You get what I mean. Regardless, it is a sound that works really well with Weeekly, considering they are, a more youthful and vibrant group, or at least that's what their image is so far. And I guess a lot of my conflicted feelings also has something to do with how I feel like the song doesn't really do their vocalists justice, whereas at least in the B-sides, it gives them some more leeway to shine. But Weeekly have so many strong vocalists that I feel like it's just a bit of a, waste to not give them a stronger or at least more vocally challenging song to go off on. I don't know. Still, they pop off and that's all that matters. Queendom by Red Velvet. Red Velvet went into a hiatus last year because of Wendy's injury, which basically kicked off the Red Velvet girlies and their getting their own solo projects. And here we are with Queendom, Red Velvet's first EP in almost 2 years. What have we got? Honestly, a pretty lackluster release considering Red Velvet's previous output. The title track is boring as hell, sorry. Just sounds like a low-tier NCT Dream B-side to me. I really wanted something to blow me away and usher in the return of such a powerhouse of a group. Instead, I received a title track that doesn't really feel like a Red Velvet song, considering this was supposed to be their fervently prayed for return. The lead single, Pose, sounds a lot more like Red Velvet with the harmonies and the, more experimentative flavor in it. And I actually wish that that was the title track instead of Queendom because it retained a lot of that fun, vibrant, and signature personality that is so inherent to Red Velvet compared to Queendom, which I felt was, again, a foreign sound on Red Velvet and to me sounded a little too sanitized. I don't know. The choreography of Queendom, which usually would be a memorable dance move that everybody would be doing or would at least sway me into appreciating the song in any way at all, it was kind of lackluster too, so a big sad. Okay, we've kind of arrived at the last EP/project that I've listened to this month, and that is 1/6 by Sunmi. Oh boy, do I have a lot to say about this EP, which is why I've decided to cut it out of my summary and turn it into a separate video on its own, because at least I have more freedom to talk about it without worrying about, time constraints and the fact that I'm basically focusing too much on that EP when this is supposed to be like a summary of all the stuff that I've listened to. Hopefully I'll have that review up by Thursday, but basically this is the end of the video. I know it is a lot shorter than I would expect it to be, or at least I haven't listened to as many projects as I would like to. I think it's because I'm in lockdown and I'm a lot more drawn to listening to YouTube videos where people are talking, because I miss human contact enough that anything that resembles, a conversation is more appealing to me than listening to music per se. But hopefully I'll have a more diverse and wide range of music to summarize in the following month. But yeah, because we're kind of nearing the end of 2021 and I kind of need to start consolidating my year-end lists. So we'll see how that goes. Convenience Store by Lee Chan-won. My friend introduced me to the song as the song that beat Gravity and Kwon Eun-bi at the SBS The Show. And I gotta say, I can see why it won. It's obviously a trot song, but I find it so interesting that Lee Chan-won isn't using the classic trot inflections. I think it's absolutely charming as hell. Good Ones by Charlie XCX. We love us some Charlie XCX. Good Ones is a good track, but it's consistent to a fault. It's definitely pleasant, but the build-up seems wasted on the lack of a euphoric rush that I assume would appear in a short song like this. The momentum is definitely addictive, but I do wish it packed more of a punch with literally any sort of deviation from the consistency. After We Ride by Brave Girls. After We Ride is an incredible song that really blows Chimat Baram out of the water. It has the most gorgeous synths, punctuated with incredible gated reverb, and accompanied by soaring vocals. I love this transition to a more mature, sophisticated sound from their previously, bubblier, poppier summer songs. It still sounds carefree, but there's definitely an underlying sense of bittersweet nostalgia, as if summer is nearing its end and we're finally winding down to get used to real life again. The rest of the single album isn't really that memorable, except for the Chimat Baram acoustic version, which I thought was a novel addition. The track sounds really fun and exciting with the natural instruments. The Chaos Chapter, Fight or Escape. Tomorrow by Together return with a repackaged album to their May comeback with the Chaos Chapter Fight or Escape. It offers 3 new tracks for the fans. If you want to know what I thought about the Chaos Chapter Freeze, check out my review for it, link in the description. Let's take a crack at these new songs. Moa Diary sounds like a song that you would find in a children's TV show. And I don't know if I mean that in a good or bad way. It's still really cute, I guess. A little too cute, maybe. The emo core version of Love Song expands on the musical themes present in the original, but ultimately stays true to the original sound. They layered distorted electric guitars on top of the original instrumentation to create a grungier texture, but otherwise it's basically the same song, and I don't really feel anything towards it. But I saved the best for last. I freaking love Loser Lover. There are parts where I feel like they could have leaned into the pop punk vibes more, but I suppose Love Song is kind of fulfilling that role anyway. Loser Lover is definitely less bombastic. It's a little subtler, more nuanced, more low-key, and acts more like a companion piece to Love Song, so both songs can kind of do their own separate thing while fulfilling different sides of the same story. Good stuff, good stuff. Speaking of rock-inspired songs, Paint Me Naked by 10. On the completely opposite side of the rock-influenced pop spectrum, we have 10's latest solo song. I am obsessed with this song. It's obviously a bright pop song, but the instrumentation gives it the vibes of a pop rock song, but it's pop rock in the same way that One Direction was pop rock, rather than pop rock in the same way that the 1975 is pop rock. You get what I mean? It also kind of reminds me of Everybody Talks by Neon Trees, but it could be because it's coming from that same area of pop rock, and because maybe both songs use the same chords, I don't know. Regardless, I'm obsessed with this song and has further fueled my fixation on 10. I love that man. Speaking of 10, Low Low by 10 and Yang Yang. Speaking of 10, he had a collab with fellow Wavy member Yang Yang. Lolo is really cute. It's pretty basic compared to Paint Me Naked and probably would have been given to a Western pop artist in different circumstances. I can see Justin Bieber pulling this off as well. Regardless, I felt that SM was on a roll when they were releasing these songs right after the other. I love the energy that Yang Yang and 10 are giving. They're giving off the vibes of a really nice Asian fuckboy. You know, the line rocking that white hoodie with the ponytail, I don't know why, but it lives rent-free in my mind. Speaking of dreamy dynamic duos, Summer or Summer by Hyolyn and Dason. I really like this song. It's basically a sister song, but more low-key, more mature. The chorus is fun and catchy, but the verses contrast it with a really chic sound, you know? It oscillates between sexy and sultry and sweet throughout the entire track. Their little rap verse in the second part of the song is also really cool. The delivery is just dripping with attitude and confidence. I need that in my life. Dasom and Hyolyn sound great together. The collaboration is basically a reminder of how good we had it when Sistar was still alive and how much we were really missing out. Their voices are very complementary, they work so well together, and the song, I feel like, keeps all the best things about Sistar's sound, but with a more toned down flourish, if you can get what I mean. You can hear those signature sounds in that final chorus, for example, but the Sistar-ness isn't so overt, I feel. It's tasteful enough that we remember Sistar, but it doesn't sound like a Sistar song reject, you know? Also, let's just take a moment to appreciate how incredible Hyolyn and Dasom looked in the music video. The hair, the makeup, the fashion, the choreography, they're all chef's kiss. Dum Dum by Sunmi. The song is almost Blackpink-esque, which is fair enough considering Teddy produced it and that man doesn't really know how to deviate from his own style, I guess. The sound is very mainstream, very palatable, but it's still surprisingly pleasant, and the hook is super catchy and unique. I also really like the choreography. I wish it was a bit longer and had more variation, but as it is, the song is good and I'm not gonna complain about it, I guess. Second by Hyoyeon. At this stage, I feel like I should do a whole ass video about Hyoyeon's career as a solo artist, like what I did with my Taemin video before he shipped off to enlistment. But anyways, Hyoyeon, though best known for her years as the main dancer for Sonyeoside, has spent the past few years solidifying her role as a solo artist. Now she is back with this sunny, vibrant song about basically taking the load off. I think the song is fine. I feel like BB's feature didn't really offer anything substantial, which is disappointing because BB is usually a very dynamite person to have in your track. But yeah, I have this theory that SM Entertainment tagged BB on the song because they didn't really feel that Hyoyeon could manage on her own song, which I don't know. That's just my theory, and that maybe just says a lot about how I view SM Entertainment. But like the fact that they've just been giving Hyoyeon like singles throughout her like time as a solo artist, I feel like is very telling. Like give us an album, sis, you know? It's okay. I'm kind of hoping that Hyoyeon has more opportunities to shine, especially since I feel like she's a very, I guess, malleable person. It would be nice to see her kind of settle into a style in the way that Taemin had been able to settle into a style, but or persona, if you will. But yeah, that's all I have for today, guys. Thank you so much for bearing with me with my very short break, I guess. I hope you guys are having a good time. We are in lockdown. New Zealand is in lockdown, so we love that for us. Anyways, you can find all of the projects that I've listened to in the description below. You can also find my social media links as well as my Ko-fi and Patreon page if you guys want to support my work. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!